Oh, this is actually a question I wanted to ask independently, so I'm delighted that Elena Turdi has. She's given us two questions. I think we'll only get to one, but this is what I want to ask people. What are your thoughts on Medvedev's lackluster form? Game plan of absorbing power from the baseline being read by more opponents? Question mark. I was when I was doing my player ratings, I sort of thought about this as well and had a bit of a chin stroke about Daniil Medvedev. Just to put it in context of what's happened to Daniil Medvedev from a statistical point of view, he made three finals in five attempts in Grand Slams. And since then, since his most recent final, i.e. Australia last year, he's gone fourth round, third round. And the people who've beaten him are Cilic, Kyrgios and Korda. George, what on earth's happened to Daniil Medvedev?
I'm not as worried as other people probably are about Medvedev. I think Korda was playing bloody well this tournament. I think Kyrgios was playing bloody well at the US Open. I still think Medvedev reaches the final of this event if he dodges those two, both of those events actually. If he dodges those two players in that half of the draw, that's my honest opinion. So I think there's a degree of wrong players, wrong time, and Calvin's going to be pulling a face saying I'm being way too generous there. So I'm not that worried. I don't think his form's where it was, but I still think he's playing okay enough tennis to still beat the majority of the tour. It's just he's fallen into some bad draws. I thought Korda was brilliant this way, and one of the things I was most disappointed about this tournament was not getting that Korda Tsitsipas semi-final, because I thought he had a really good chance of winning that match, and it would have tested Tsitsipas's level before we got to that final, which no one else in that half was going to do. And yeah, I thought this was going to be Korda's breakout, and even I'd have given him far more of a chance of beating Djokovic in the final than I would Tsitsipas, given the lack of scarring. So that's my generous take, and now Calvin can take you through the why Medvedev's finished.
Calvin, you've already been told what you're going to say, apparently.
He's not far off. I mean, I would be concerned if I were him. It does look like a lot of players have figured him out, and it's all right. George I do kind of agree with George that he came up with against two players playing well at the wrong time, but also they're not the best players in the world. Neither of them are top 10 players, and there's other guys who would also fancy their chances. There's other big hitters out there. Alcaraz is a huge hitter. I'm trying to think who else is in the top 10. Rune's a big hitter. Yeah, Zverev, those guys. If they're back, and I think that's going to be his problem, that he tends not to do a lot. And also what I noticed this week, and on the thing with Medvedev, as I did in a video a few years ago, which me and George did on him tactically, and we spoke at length about the length that he hits. And it wasn't, I watched him this week against Korda in that match, and it wasn't that great, his length. He's now making balls, but he's dropping length quite a lot. And you just wonder what he's going to add to his game that he doesn't have, that is going to get him past those players. I think his main concern is if the guy, and I said, to be fair, I said it in that video that we did, I think 3 years ago, this problem will come if guys can just knock him off the court, if they can hit through him. I actually think he's probably got a better chance at beating. This may sound crazy, and this doesn't mean I would favour him to beat him. I think he's got a better chance of beating Djokovic than he's got against players like Kyrgios, Korda,
Yeah.
Zverev on full form now, because they can blow him away, and he can't really counter that.